Aleph, Pasuk Yud Aleph. Pasuk Yud Aleph Shlomo Melech tells us, Im Yomru Lecha Itanu, Ne'erva Ledam, Nitzpena Lenaqi Chinam. Right? Literally it says what? If they tell you, come with us, Ne'erva Ledam, we are going to, we are going to take a position, when you want to ambush somebody, Ledam, dam literally means blood. Or nitzpena lenaki chinam. Or we should go, and nitzpena, we just have Pesach, tzafun barech. Tzafun means to hide. Let's hide to attack. Lenaki. Naqi is somebody like an innocent. Chinam, that for no reason. So we know that the whole Sefer Mishlei is how to combat our Yetzer Hara. Right? We know that that's basically it's very interesting that I don't know if we spoke about this that why do we say when it comes to the Shisha Sidrei Mishnah all the names are always plural except for Seder Moed. Right? We have Shisha Sidrei Mishnah, which the entire oral Torah Sheba'al Peh, it's 6 sections. There is a Seder, and the way to remember it is Zman Nakat, Zeraim, Moed, Nashim, Nezikin, Kodashim, Ta'arot. This encompasses the entire Torah Sheba'al Peh, the oral law. So, and each one of them obviously talks about different types of halachot. It's very interesting that all plural except when it comes to Moed, but that talks about our festivals, all the Yamim Tovim. There it's Moed, it says singular. How come? Because I think we spoke about it. Because Pesach is the Moed. Out of all the holidays that we have, Pesach is like the head. That from the brain everything else comes out. So Pesach is considered like
In Sukkot we said Hallel, full Hallel. In Sukkot we don't say. In Pesach we don't say.
But Sukkot, the last day is a different regel. But we do Sukkot, we do say Hallel Shalem, but still it doesn't mean that Sukkot is more important. The first regel that we have is Pesach. It's Pesach, it's Nisan is Rishon. And because really the essence of Judaism is from Pesach. The essence of Judaism, it's Pesach, which we know that Shavuot complements Pesach. We spoke it in Shul, I said that's the reason why we have the beautiful white parochet from Pesach till Shavuot, because Ramban says that the days between Pesach and Shavuot, it's like Chol HaMoed, it's a long Chol HaMoed. It's like Pesach and Shavuot, it's really like, one message, one festival that starts Pesach and ends Shavuot, because when the Bnei Yisrael came out of Mitzrayim, this is not true freedom, right? The true freedom is when we got the Torah. That's the reason why also, the Omer that it brought the night after Pesach, that it would bring it always no matter what. Right? Even if it was Friday night. They would go and bring Korban Omer. They would harvest. Shabbat, they would go and harvest barley, right, from the place that it was, they would ripen the earliest, the fastest in Israel, and they would bring a Korban Omer, and then, Chadash would become allowed. So you see, this is, so the Korban that they would bring when they come out of Mitzrayim, it's barley. Barley is animal baranaspat feed. Why? Because when we came out of Mitzrayim, we were just like a bunch of animals that got freed out of prison. We were in true freedom. The Gemara says the true freedom is someone that has En lecha ben chorin, ela mishu osek b'Torah. True freedom is that the person is not controlled by his Yetzer Hara. That he could control his Yetzer Hara. somebody is that driven by his evil inclination, by Yetzer Hara, he's not free. It's like I think what Mordechai Kamenetsky, somebody says, was traveling on the plane with the Jew that didn't keep any Torah mitzvot. Talking back and forth about Torah and Judaism. So then they serve the food, right? I guess maybe it was an international flight that you have, still they serve food. So for him, they brought the kosher one, and for the other one, for the other Jew, they brought the non-kosher. So this guy, the non-observant Jew, tells Rabbi Kamenetsky, he tells him, I feel bad for you. You can't eat this. I could eat it. He says, no. I could eat this. I decide not to eat it. I could eat it like you, but I have control. I decide. I challenge you that you don't eat this. See, who's free? Obviously, I am free. That this is you are like driven by your urges, by your desires, right? So this is and this is the whole idea of matzah also. I had to speak last night somewhere. What is this thing about eating matzah? What's a big deal, etc. That's the whole thing that matzah, chametz represents Yetzer Hara, and matzah doesn't have. That's the whole thing, to try to that it doesn't become right chametz, and that's the whole kunst that that Katzker says. If chametz is such a severe thing, so why does HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell us to make matzah out of wheat flour or grains? Why not to make it from potatoes? Or because he says because potatoes cannot become chametz. You have to make matzah from a dough that could become chametz, and don't let it become chametz, because you have to live with the Yetzer Hara and control it. Right? This is a very, very deep meaning of the whole thing. So our main purpose is really, right, to have full control on our Yetzer Hara, that we control our desires, and the desires don't control us. Yes?
Is it also that we should test our limits?
That's also. Testing the limits, it's controlling Yetzer Hara.
But that's bad.
Test
your limits?
No, this is not testing your limits.
Yes.
Okay, you're saying that you create a situation that it could become chametz.
And then you stop.
No, but that represents the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Yetzer Hara in us. If Yetzer Hara is probably the most important thing that Hashem created in this world. If not for Yetzer Hara, there is no purpose for our existence. But the whole thing is, it's not that we don't know. Constantly b'tel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we don't want to test our limits. No. That's why, last night I had to go to the mountains, and ways, I usually try to avoid certain streets and intersections. One of them is like La Cienega and Beverly Boulevard.
Never.
From my experience, I haven't been there, but yesterday, and then I just followed, okay, let me go with Waze. And it just took me, I don't even sure there, but it's, a person should not put himself in tests, because over there they have always this kind of, billboards that, I usually try, because we don't want to test our boundaries, right? But it is, without you wanting to do that,
You're going to be tested.
You're going to be tested. And that's the beauty of Torah. That's the beauty of Torah. Right? You see, Shlomo HaMelech says, right, that this is Shlomo HaMelech, two of the mitzvot that we have, it's from Shlomo HaMelech. What? Eruvin and Netilat Yadayim. Okay? Eruv, the whole concept of Eruv Tafshilin, Eruv Tchumin, to be able to carry on Shabbat, etc. This is from Shlomo HaMelech, also Netilat Yadayim. That to wash our hands, that before we eat bread, it's not biblical. It's because really, Netilat Yadayim, it's only for Kohanim and they want to eat Truma, right? Because Truma is Kodesh, right? And that's why Kohanim, they have to be pure, they have to wash their hands before they eat Truma. But Shlomo HaMelech made the takana that everybody, whoever, even a non-Kohen, and whoever, even if somebody's tameh, they should wash their hands before they eat. Right? This is from Shlomo HaMelech.
What After restroom, they said you have to.
And that's not from that. It's a different concept. That's because whenever you enter the toilet, we believe there is ruach ra'ah there is a bad, evil. You see, that goes much deeper. You see, when we eat, what do we do? Eating, Kabbalistically, it's not just like you take nourishment. When we eat, we separate the good from bad, right? Our digestive system. And there are sparks of holiness in food, gilgul, etc. So we, through saying the brachot, through chewing the food and swallowing, etc., we are doing great things there. We are separating the good forces from the bad forces. And the garbage, it's klipot, the garbage that we get rid of. When we go to the bathroom, this is full of negative, forces, right? Energies. That's why bathroom has ruach ra'ah, it's called. And when we wash our hands over there, it's to get rid of that. It's called bat melech. It has a name even. And the only way to get rid of it is one. You could do it, with a kli, with the other kli. But that's it. The concept of that washing when you come out of the bathroom, it's totally different than washing to eat bread. This to eat bread. It's like you wanna. Shlomo HaMelech wanted everybody to be sanctify themselves whenever they come to eat. Right? That this washing hand, it's like acknowledging that when we eat, it's not just like a nourishment. It's something we are doing, actually something holy. Right? So the philosophy of the washings are different. But why, while mentioning this, that that Shlomo HaMelech, Kotzker Rebbe says, this is the simple meaning of it, that Shlomo HaMelech did shte takanot, Eruvin and Netilat Yadayim. Kotzker says a beautiful drasha on it. He says, Shlomo HaMelech taught us to be me'urav, that we need to be intertwined with this world. Me'urav means to be mixed with this world. And at the same time, hands off. And at the same time, right, even though you are involved with this materialistic world, but you stay off. In other words, the Torah doesn't expect us we should go to live in a desert when there is no civilization. Hashem says you should live. You could live in Los Angeles also. And Los Angeles, it's capital of Olam Hazeh. But at the same time, hands off. Have self-control. Have self-control, so that because it's the same concept that you have to make matzah from flour that could become chametz, but you make sure it doesn't become chametz. If you make matzah from cornmeal or potato starch, that could never be fermented. It cannot be chametz. So the whole honar اینه که چی? Something that could become chametz, I make sure it doesn't become chametz. You go to workplace. You guys have much more exposures than I have, right? It's very difficult, right? Even if first of all, the person should be, being married. It's a big plus for Yetzer Hara, right? When a person is married, he's transformed. Why? Because the Gemara says, if somebody has pat besilo, the Gemara says somebody who has bread in his basket, he's already somehow satisfied, even if he doesn't eat. The fact that he knows he has bread in his basket, it's different than somebody who doesn't have bread in his basket. A single person doesn't have bread in his basket, so he has much bigger challenges. But somebody who's married, he has bread in his basket. The bread is there. Even if he doesn't eat, he's already a little bit satisfied. It's a total different, right, situation. But there are a lot of challenges in the workplace. A lot of challenges. Whether it's you have, ladies and all the things that have to do with intimacy issues. It's a major, major challenge. And also when it comes to financial things, right? When it comes to financial honesty, integrity, etc., you have to realize we are, it's like the same thing. We are playing with the doll that could become chametz, and Hashem says, no, you are in charge, don't let it become chametz. You should control the Yetzer Hara. That's why Pesach, it's really, right, it's a major holiday, because as we said, when we come out of Mitzrayim, first they would bring what? Barley. Barley is animal feed. When we got the Torah, Shavuot, then they would bring the offerings where was bread. Because now we could deal with the Yetzer Hara. Now we are truly free. We are En lecha ben chorin, the Gemara says. When it says, the Pasuk says, Charut ala luchot, it says like, they were engraved, the Ten Commandments, on the luchot and the two tablets. The Gemara says, don't read this Charut, but Cherut. Cherut means liberty, freedom. The true free person is a person that has control over his Yetzer Hara. And that's the whole Sefer Mishlei. Whole Sefer Mishlei is about that. It's about how to control Yetzer Hara. Yeah. And that's make it such a central and essential book out of the Tanakh, right? Because this is the whole purpose of Torah. Is that Torah? The Gemara says, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem says, I created Yetzer Hara, and I created the Torah as a tavlin. The Torah is the only remedy. There is no other remedy. The only remedy a person has to control his desires and Yetzer Hara is only Torah. Exclusively. So that's what we are learning. So now, Shlomo HaMelech says, Im Yomru Lecha Itan. Who is Im Yomru? If your Yetzer Hara could give, it says it's in plural, because Yetzer Hara has so many ways and all kinds of tactics. The Gemara says, Yetzer Hara, the Satan, every day comes to battle with us with renewed arms. And you see, everybody has, it's very interesting, the Gaon says, that's fundamental. Gaon says, we say a lot of in Tefillah, Hashem, please help us to conquer et Yitzrenu Hara. Yitzrenu Hara yani our Yetzer. Gaon says every individual has different mix of Yetzer Haras. He says it's not something, okay, Yetzer Hara, even no. He says, Gaon says this is one of the, when he says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Matsuyu Mashgiach, it's the most amazing what the Gaon says. He says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Matsuyu Mashgiach, there is Hashgacha Pratit, that there is individual providence. You see it in this area, that everybody has different Yetzer Haras. No two people have the same Yetzer Hara. I mean, it's a mix of all kinds of Yetzer Haras, but it's custom made. No two people have the same Yetzer Hara. There are certain Yetzer Haras that are very common, we know. Money, it's a big Yetzer Hara. Intimacy issues, ladies and stuff, this is men, me when, that's big Yetzer Haras. But you see the extent of it, the varieties of it, etc., etc. Gaon says there are no two people that have the same Yetzer Hara. And the beauty of the Torah is that the same Torah, right, could give the remedy for everybody's Yetzer Haras, because really, everybody has, I mean, obviously, when it comes to halacha, we have Shulchan Aruch. But when it comes to the hashkafa and the ideal, etc., the philosophies of the Torah, people have different takes, and it's legit. As long as when it comes to action, you are following Shulchan Aruch. You could, different people have, different takes for how does the Torah talk to them, right? People have, every Shivim Panim La Torah. It says the Torah could be interpreted like, at least 70 different ways, and Ramchal brings that Torah is like this fire, this like charcoal. When you blow on it, it's all kinds of shades. The same, all kinds of shades in it. And all these shades are legit as long as when it comes to action, right, we are unified the same Shulchan Aruch. So Gaon says this Yitzhak, everybody has a custom-made Yetzer Hara. No two people have. They said everybody has different challenges, and the beauty of the Torah is that the Torah is remedy for all types of Yetzer Hara. So let's go back to Shlomo Melech. He says Im Yomru. So that's why he says it plural, because Yetzer Hara has all. It's talking about Yetzer Hara. It says Yomru. Yomru is what? We have Yomru and we have Dibur. Amira is always Amira Raka. It's soft. Right? By Daber Hashem el Moshe le'emor, right? Dibur, it means to speak, like, with discipline. It's strong. Right? Amira is always softly. Right? That's why before Hashem gave the Torah, what did Hashem say? Ko tomar lebeit Yaakov. Right? Tagid lebnei Israel. What's the lashon? Right? Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Right? The way when He gave the Torah, it was a message of love. We know that. He told Moshe Rabbeinu, "Go tell Bnei Israel, I carried them al kanfei nesharim, kitir b'junam am b'chore b'jur shuman achore. I love you." Right? And then Bnei Israel said, "Na'aseh v'nishma." But right before HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends Moshe Rabbeinu, right, the Pasuk tells us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, go tell Bnei Israel, I'm reading in, this is Parashat Yitro, it says, Vayikra elav Hashem min ahar lemor, ko tomar lebeit Yaakov, v'taged libnei Yisrael. Ko tomar lebeit Yaakov, v'taged libnei Yisrael. Beit Yaakov is what? Is the ladies. That's why the schools are called Beis Yaakov. Taged libnei Yisrael, it's to the men. So how come the terminology is different? When it comes to Beit Yaakov, it says Tomar, and then Taged Libnei Israel. So Rashi says, Amira is Amira Raka. To the ladies, you have to sugarcoat it, right? You have to say it in a nice way. So, to men, you could say, if you do this, Sakila, right? Taged Dvarim Shekashim Kegidim. Right? But you have, so Amira is what? It's soft. It's like sugar coated. It's always all over the Torah. Amira is Taged. It's like without no sugar coated. It's just like straight, right? One is compassion. One is gvura. So here Shlomo Melech picked. It says the way the Yetzer Hara comes always. Right, to get us to go after our desires, it's always, it beautifies it. Always. That's what it says, right? Im yomru lecha itanu. If the Yetzer Hara tells us, then you should always be aware of that. The Yetzer Hara always is going to come, like, with a different kind of packaging, etc. Right? It's to make it attractive. It has the tactics to do it. One of the Hasidic rabbis, I think, he says, Hashem, what do you expect from us? Right? He says, look, if you would have put the Yetzer Hara in the pages of an old Gemara, and the Yetzer HaTov, you would have packaged it beautifully, I would guarantee you know what you would have said. But Yetzer Hara, it's always much more attractive. It's sugar-coated, etc. People come, I go, and now I have my things on YouTube, right? You could see, there's on YouTube something millions of viewers for some kind of nonsense. If there's a YouTuber with Dvar Torah, how many people are going to go to watch Dvar Torah? If you go and you have a menu, how many people go to see Dvar Torah? And how people are going to go to all kinds of nonsense, right? This, Yetzer Hara, it's much more attractive, right? It's much more attractive. That's why, Amira, it says, Im Yomru, Im Yomru. So it's first of all, the packaging and everything is much more attractive. I told somebody, so look, like this is your wife compared to your secretary. Your wife takes you for granted, doesn't, no makeup, this and that, but you go to work, in the workplace, the ladies, all these, whoever goes to the workplace, they come at their, the most presentable way, and they want to be seductive, and they want to be, because, compared to, unfortunately, a lot of, especially from married ladies, they take their husbands for granted, and it's a big problem. It's a big problem, because the challenge that they face, it's not easy, right? So Amira, right, it says, Im Yomru Lechaitan, and the Yetzer says, look, no, I don't want you in the way Shlomo HaMelech puts it. The guy wants to go to murder. You come with me. You don't have to do it. Just come with us. I'll do the job. Right? All kinds of tactics. We're going to elaborate on this. Right? This is the way Gaon says. Amira Raka. Ata lo tishtatef lemaaseh, rak bo itanu. Just come with us. It starts with, whoever got involved in any kind of Yetzer, it happens like gradually, etc., etc. Then it's too late, right? Any kind of illegitimate relationships, it doesn't start, right? It starts by talking and communicating, and gradually it comes, to a stage. I've dealt with situations like that, and you see how it's. Yes.
When these terrorist groups like ISIS, when they want to train these future potential terrorists, first thing they do, they want to teach them how to kill. They give them a gun or like a knife, and they tell them to shoot at a dead animal, like a dead snake. Then they go to a live snake. Then it becomes like a rabbit, and then eventually to a dead person. So it becomes normal for them killing, and then they say that guy's your enemy, and they shoot the enemy, and then it goes all the way to that's your friend.
Yes.
But it becomes normal to the guy.
You see, we are just in a post-Pesach still, thoughts. Gaon says, what was the whole thing that they tricked Paro? The Jews tricked Paro and the Egyptians. First of all, they went to borrow things. And also they said, we are going to go, we have 3 days and we're going to come back. I think he asked me this question, no? So Gaon says, because it's Midah, can you get Midah? He says, because since Paro tricked the Jews, HaKadosh Baruch Hashem says, look, with the trickery person, you act with him likewise. You can't, if you have a trick, it's like when Yaakov Avinu is dealing with Lavan, the same thing. With the Lavan, you cannot be straight, right? Because he was a crook, if you go straight with him, you're going to lose. So you have to use his tactics. So he says, that's why, because Paro tricked the Jews. How did Paro trick the Jews? They didn't become slaves like overnight. At the beginning, he says, come, here, I'm going to, it's such a thing, we want to build these cities. Some say that, these, how's it called in Egypt?
Pyramids.
Those, Pyramids, and the Jews built it, right? But he said, how did he, first he himself, Paro, went and he was working with them. Come, I'm doing it also. And he was paying them at the beginning, etc. Gradually. It was done gradually in a very, so to speak, appealing and seductive way. So this is the same thing. This is the way Paro is the Yetzer Hara. That's we see now how he works. So im yomru lecha itarun erva ledam. So dam here, dam means blood, but dam in Hebrew also has another meaning. See, and the other, it's not necessarily here. Shlomo HaMelech is talking about murder. It's talking about stealing money. Damim in Hebrew, dam in Hebrew has also the meaning of money, right? Damim yeshalem, the Torah says, pasuk in the Torah. So it's very interesting. There is a right. There is a Hebrew, beautiful Hebrew poem. It says like Ha'adam doeg ledamav ve'eno doeg leyamav. An average person worries so much about money. He said damav means money also, right? Ha'adam doeg ledamav. A human being, an average person, he's so worried about money, mighty dollar, right? Ve'eno doeg leyamav. But he doesn't care about the days of his life. They're passing so fast. Ha'adam doeg ledamav ve'eno doeg leyamav. Right? Person, he worries, he has anxiety over financial money, that the money shouldn't be wasted and how he could make more money. Most of his active time, he's worrying about money. How to earn money, how to, but he doesn't care as much about Yamav, about his days that are passing. Now here comes the punch, and then it says, Damav einam ozrim. Money, after 120 years, is not going to help him. Damav einam ozrim. Yamav einam chozrim. The days that passed, they are not going to come around. Right? Damav, I love this. Ha'adam doeg ledamav ve'ino doeg leyamav. The human being worries about money, but he doesn't care, doesn't worry so much about the passing days of his life. And the irony is that damav einam ozrin, right? The money is not going to help him, right? In the long term, after 120 years, yamav einam chozrim, and his days don't come back. We have to appreciate yamim more than damim. So if we go with that interpretation, that's what Rabbi Yonah says. Rabbi Yonah says that it's not. He says that's how also the Yetzer Hara. It's not just going for the blood, for money. How the Yetzer Hara entices us to go after non-kosher money, and it's one of the biggest Yetzer Haras. Right? Mesilat Yesharim says Yetzer Hara number one is money. Then he says it's intimacy issues, etc., etc.
Today.
What?
Nowadays.
Always.
It wasn't idol worship before? Wasn't that number one before?
No.
During Beit HaMikdash?
I mean,
Intimacy was worse than
Avodah Zarah, we are talking about Bnei Torah, right? You see, bigger, apparently the way the Gemara says, Kupa Mela'ah, money is first. Money is, I see Gilgul, we said Gilgul is for money. Gilgul, which is the worst punishment, is for dishonest money. It's a biggie. So when he says Lecha itanu ne'erva ledam, dam doesn't mean just blood. It means the Rabbi Yonah says, talking about financial things. You have to be it's so difficult. I'm saying, you see, that's why, you see, to go to be in the workplace, in the business world, it's much more dangerous, right? Than because this is where you're tested. It's a famous story that there was a shochet that came to Rabbi Salanter, and he said, Rav, I give up. It's such a big responsibility. It's such a big responsibility. I do, right? If maybe I'm not going to do shchita right, and all these people are eating my meat and this and that, I want to give up. I don't want to. I can't do it. I can't take the anxiety. So what do you want to do? So I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go downtown. I'm going to go, start a business or something. He tells him, if by shchita you could do chas v'chayila 4 or 5 averot if you don't do it right. But it counts for him every day you go in the workplace, 35, 40 different violations that the person could do. It's financial, and also, you see that's the reason, right? Rabbeinu Yonah says, he says if HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the parnasa anyway, So why we have to go to work? If you believe HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, هر که چه میگن هر که دندان دهد نان دهد, right? So why do you have to go to work? So this is really, your work doesn't bring the money. Hashem, whatever why do you go to work? For two reasons. One, that that you're going to get tired, and then you're going to have less strength to do averot. That's what. And the other one is because of to be all the tests, to be tested in the workplace. That's how you get the reward, by being tested. Testers, being tested how? As far as I can ever say, kosher money first of all. Kosher money, it's a big test, right? And also how you interact with people, with your employees, with your customers, etc. To be nice to them, to be honest with them, etc., etc. That's the reason we go to work, right? So it's not easy. So Yetzer Hara has its ways, and he does it very gradually. Chavetz Chaim here he says about this guy that wanted to have fun. I mean, he has a lot of similar mishalim. He says he wanted to have fun. This guy, and he takes somebody and you give him some sweets and this and that. Come! I have something to show you in the middle of nowhere. He says he brings him to a swamp, Batlach, I guess, right? And he tells him, you know what? At the end of this swamp there is a big treasure over there, right? And they hid it there that nobody should go to get it. Let's go for it. And this guy he lures him. He goes into the thing. They go, and then when they are getting word that he cannot come back, he himself pulls out. And this guy goes for the, so to speak, for the treasure, and is drowning, and he still makes fun of him, how he trapped him into that. That's how Yetzer Hara works. And then he brings people to laugh at him, right? So Yetzer Hara, that's what he does. Yetzer Hara with his tactics, he comes with Amira Raka, this and that, entices us into doing the Avera, and then after 120 years, the same Yetzer Hara is going to be our DA, and he's going to make fun of us, right? So, very interesting that it says, Ne'erva ledam, nitzpena lenaki chinam. Unbelievable. Rabbi Yonah says, we have to know that hachot'im son'im be'ikar et hanekiyim. So sinners, they hate good people. He says, hachot'im son'im be'ikar et hanekiyim. Sinners cannot stand somebody who is upright. They hate somebody. That's why Yetzer Hara says, nitzpena lenaki. Why do you go after a naki? Because this is the way it goes. Sinners cannot stand somebody who is not doing himself the right things. He has an animosity, strong hatred towards people that are upright. The Gemara tells us, Masechet Pesachim, that Rabbi Akiva, before he came to learn Torah, this is Gemara Pesachim Memtet Amud Bet, right? It says what? It says Rabbi Akiva himself says. It says, before I came to learn Torah, I used to hate all the Talmidei Chachamim. And I used to say, Mi ten li Talmid Chacham, then shachenu kachamor. Who would give me a Talmid Chacham? And I'm going to bite him like a donkey. His Talmidim said, Rabbi, why did you say kachamor, not mukeret? He said, no. A dog bites but doesn't break the bones. But if a donkey, bites, breaks the bone. This is how much I hated Talmidei Chachamim. Right? And this is Rabbi Akiva. Right? So they say, how come Rabbi Akiva said, me eat 10, right? Me eat 10. Who would give me? So go get one. What is me telling that somebody should give me a Talmid Chacham? I want to bite him like a donkey. So go get it. He says, no, he was afraid that if he goes, maybe he's going to get a not Talmid Chacham and bite him. He wanted to make sure that this is a Talmid Chacham. So you see, this is, it's a reality. You see, a lot of, in Israel, in America, it's much less. It's not, in America, I haven't seen that. In Israel, a lot of the secular Jews, they really have hatred towards religious people. Chas v'chayla, I don't defend any religious Jew that doesn't act properly, obviously. But you see, they hate. You see, I went to visit my mother. I was in Gilo. Walking on the street, a little kid comes and starts cursing me. Little kid, not secular. I mean, why? What did they do to you? Unfortunately, there is. It's exactly what Rabbi Akiva says, right? So the Gemara says, why? Why is that hatred? Because the Gemara says all the Jews. It says Torah tziva lanu Moshe morasha keilat Yaakov. It's not morasha; it's meorasa. By the way, this is the Rambam says this is the first pasuk a person should teach his children before Shema Yisrael. First Torah tziva lanu Moshe morasha keilat Yaakov, and then Shema Yisrael. So the Gemara says al tikri morasha, but meorasa. Meorasa means namzat, like engaged. That every Jew is really engaged to the Torah. So some people go and they marry this namzat, this engaged, the ones that learn Torah. So then the one that doesn't learn Torah, he says, oh, he went and he was with my fiancé. Because the Torah is everybody's fiancé. So this is the hatred. Because they don't do it. I saw a nice, Rabbi Yonah says, it's like, right, he says, Achotim son'im be'ikar tanikim. Right, why? Because they have, like, you see, their conscience is bothering them. I should be doing the same thing. When some secular Jews, right, look at an observant Jew, deep down they know this is the way they should be acting. This is the way the Torah is for everybody. But since they don't, they have like a guilty conscience, so that's why, instead of attacking the message, they attack the messenger. All right? But we see from this pasuk very clearly. It says, like, the Yetzar, it says, the Sin'ah, they say, lenaki, that they want to ambush the who? The naki. The naki is the upright, the right person. There is, again, in Israel, it's much more involved than that. The whole thing, what they do, there's also hatred. Some of them, they hate the Haredi Jews because they don't go to the army. That's a legitimate, discussion. But, like in the last elections, and I think really this is really something that, the left was defeated because they made fun. They had a huge gathering one night, I think Saturday night. The leftists had a gathering, and one of their, one of these Israeli celebs went up and he said, "You want to vote for these people that kiss the mezuzah and stuff?" He made fun. He put down people that kiss the mezuzah. There are some of them. They have It's really self-hating Jews. Right. The problem is that these self-hating Jews, they are the cause of anti-Semitism. It's really asmas kebarmas. We have to realize. So when you have Jews that there is sinat chinam between the Jews, this is something that brings about anti-Semitism, right? And unfortunately, this is the problem. If we these self-hating Jews, it's a big problem. It's a big problem, and this is also Shlomo HaMelech is alluding to that. He says that the word nitzpena lenaki. Right? Why? Because, as we said, the sinners, right? They are, whether it's guilty conscience, etc., they have animosity towards the upright people, right? And I think a lot of us, we have experienced that we could attest to it. But again, it's not chas v'challah when we have a Jew that that is recognized as observant, and they don't act properly. Chilul Hashem, it's the biggest sin. But that's not the only reason for this hatred. Anyway, so just right, this is what we said that really in Hebrew. We said in Hebrew, let's conclude with this. In Hebrew, when we're talking about damim, it's not just blood; it's also money. The Gemara says in Baba Kama, if somebody comes and steals from somebody else, it's like he took his neshama. Right? The Gemara says, stealing from somebody.
Anything?
It's, yes. If a person steals from somebody else, it's like he took his neshama. And also, if somebody does, the Gemara says, if somebody had, it's unfair competition. کسی که نون کسی آجور میکنه it's considered as he killed it. It's like murdering. As a gavkavul.
But stealing goes in deeper. It's not just wealth, material stealing. Does it mean other stuff? Like someone steals my time? Like when
that's also
stealing.
That's also stealing. Stealing has a lot of ramifications, but the classic thing is cheating somebody financially. Also, that's a major thing. Cheating, yeah.
What do you mean taking his neshama? یعنی چیکار میکنه؟
که بالا مثل جونش گرفتی؟
یعنی
کسی مثلا پول نفر گذاشت قلبش پس نمیده.
جونش به پولش بسته.
آره جونش به پولش بسته است از گمارا.
ولی اگه یکی پولشو با زور ازش میگیره چی؟
اونم همینه. اونم مثل قتل. It's mamash we see that's why in Hebrew it says damim. Damim means not just blood, it means money. Right. And it says, right, and that's the reason, by the way, we all know, tzedakah tatzil mimavet, right? Tzedakah, Pasuk says, tzedakah tatzil, when you give tzedakah, a person could be saved from untimely death. Right? Why is that? I mean, if money is like blood, so when I give money, it's like I create life, right? Giving tzedakah, it's like what I'm doing. When I give tzedakah, it's like what am I doing? I'm giving my life. That's a simon, right? So it would be instead of in lieu of, right? That's what tzedakah said, and that's what Gaon says. For tzedakah, the Torah says to give what? Machatzit hashekel. Why machatzit hashekel? Gaon says because the middle letter is machatzit mem chet tzadi yud taf. Tzadi stands for tzedakah. What are the letters that are close to tzadi? Chai. One side is chet, the other one is yud. What are the letters that are away from tzadi? Met. Right, tzedakah, that's what tzedakah, that's in your mavet. Tzedakah pushes away mavet, met, death, and brings close chai. Right? Why is that? Because we just learned. Because damim, it's money. When a person gives tzedakah, it's like he gave his life. So then, he doesn't need to be killed. If he deserved chas v'chalila, he did something that he needed to be killed. If damim means money, when he gave money, it's like he gave his life. So he's off the hook. That's the way it works. Maharal explains that why tzedakah is so important. Why tzedakah, right?